your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome to the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. It's Monday, 27th May 2024. Yes, we're almost at the middle of the year. Yes, we're heading into June very, very soon. But we're so happy that you can join us this Monday morning here on the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. We're coming to you live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago, and I am Adana Kumbi, and I'll be taking you through our program this morning. We're always so happy when you choose us, and it's because of you why we are the #1 morning show in Trinidad and Tobago. So thank you so much. I wonder, what was your weekend like? What did you get up to over the weekend? There were so many activities happening on the island here in Tobago, so we'd love to hear what you did this weekend. So don't forget to drop in on our live stream and just let us know. Send a comment, say good morning, send your shout outs this morning for us. But before we get into all of that this morning, we're going to head on over to the news in 90 seconds.
News in 90 seconds is brought to you by Standards, never beaten on quality and prices.
Thank you, Adana. Here is your news in 90 seconds for Monday, May 27th, 2024. National Parent Teachers Association President Walter Stewart has urged Trinidad and Tobago Police Service to outline their crime-fighting strategies for Tobago. Speaking at the NPTA's 64th Mid-Year Convention, he called for immediate measures to combat crime, addressing Police Commissioner Earl Yearwood Christopher and Tobago Division Head ACP Collis Hazel. Stewart highlighted inadequate security at the Port of Spain port and insufficient checks between Trinidad and Tobago, while stressing the need for comprehensive container searches. He also urged religious organizations to pray for law enforcement and call on the public to report criminal activities, emphasizing that community cooperation is essential to combating crime. Up next, the Standing Finance Committee of the House of Representatives will consider a $2.33 billion increase to the 2023-2024 budget on June 3rd, as announced by Leader of Government Business Camille Robinson-Regis. Major supplementation include the Energy Ministry, Works and Transport Ministry, Public Utilities, Health, Education, and a $50 million increase for Tobago House of Assembly. However, Finance Minister Colin Imbert said Tobago always benefited from the government, and from 2019 to 2023, the central government spent $2.9 billion in Tobago in addition to their regular subventions. And finally, leader of the Patriotic Front, Michaela Pandey, has launched her campaign for 2025 general elections. Coincided with a tribute to her late father Basio Pandey's 91st birthday and 5th anniversary of her party, she announced the Patriotic Front intention to contest all 41 seats, with nominations starting today. Funded in 2019 but inactive in the 2020 elections, the Patriotic Front is now responding to public demand. Pandey emphasized the party's commitment to unity, constructive politics, and the importance of candidates who genuinely represent their constituents. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Life is good with zero interest for 6 months, zero down payments, zero stress payment plan. That's right. With Standards My Terms, we are putting the power of zero in your hands. Now, you can get that new sectional, fridge, stove, or TV for zero down. Pay zero interest later and enjoy a zero stress payment plan plus quick approval within 48 hours. Standards, never beaten on quality and prices.
Thank you, Biana, for our news there in 90 seconds. And of course, this morning we want to say congratulations. We know that the Under-19 beach volleyball tournament just wrapped over the weekend. We saw different islands on the representatives from different islands on the island of Tobago participating in that competition, and we saw where Trinidad and Tobago came second in both the men and the women tournament. So congratulations there, and of course to all the participants, thank you for coming to our shows and for participating in the event and making it a success. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the morning when we say happy birthday to those who are celebrating. So we head on over to our birthday shout outs. And on screen this morning and celebrating a birthday, we have the beautiful, the lovely Abigail Teasdale. Abigail is celebrating a birthday today. And Abigail, we want to say happy birthday to you, coming to you from all of us here at Tobago Updates Television. We do hope that you have a wonderful birthday today and a wonderful week as well. This is Brian Thomas. Brian Thomas is celebrating a birthday today. And Brian, we do want to wish you the very best of your birthday. We pray God's blessings upon your life and that you do enjoy all the love and everything that comes with celebrating a birthday. And finally, we have there's supposed to be one more there. Finally, we have Garvin Vincent. He celebrated a birthday over the weekend. His birthday was over the weekend. Garvin Vincent celebrating there, and we want to wish you a happy birthday as well. And we do know the celebration was really well enjoyed. So we pray God's blessings upon your life as well. And we do hope that you continue to celebrate in fine style in the way that we know that you usually do. So happy birthday to you, Garvin. And for those of you who have celebrated over the weekend or who are looking forward to birthdays this week, of course, we want to wish you a very happy birthday. And of course, God's continued blessings upon your lives. All right, it's that time when you're trying to figure out who are we having conversations with this morning. Of course, it's Monday morning, so we're going to be speaking with a representative from the TTPS, that is Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. So we're going to get the crime update this week. And we're speaking with Inspector Shirley Prince this morning as we speak about that. And we're also going to have a conversation about extortion and demanding money by menace. Yes, I think very important conversation to have. We've seen people fall victim to this, and so we're going to have that very important conversation this morning as we get into it as well. Right? And we also have ASP Dirk John as well in that conversation. So we're going to have that as well. And then we end things off by speaking with Rundle Fields. He's the president of the Fathers Association of Trinidad and Tobago, and we are addressing cyberbullying on social media. We have seen the rise and the increase on that, and so we're going to get his opinion on that as we start that very important conversation this morning. So we hope that you stay with us as we go through the program this morning. As always, thank you for staying with us this morning. I want to say good morning to all our loyal viewers. Pearl Murray Beard, who I'm sure is on the live. Julia Brown, good morning to you. Lyndon Mark, good morning. Good morning to you. Otis Nixon, good morning. So all of you far and wide who choose to watch us, whether you're getting ready for work, dropping the children off to school, or just starting your morning, thank you and good morning. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go for a short break before we start conversations in studio this morning. And before we go for a break, we invite you to help us share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
We reached the biggest comedy event of 2024, finally in Tobago for one night only at Shaw Park.
My body, and I'm not in the mood.
Yeah, but you haven't been in the mood for the last 6 months. Love is a Walk, which played to sold-out houses across Trinidad, is coming to Tobago for one night only on Saturday, June 8th at 8:30 p.m.
You promised this would be the last time.
Yes, I tell you, it's the last time, I swear.
You sure about that?
Tickets for Love is a Walk available at the Shaw Park Complex daily and at advertised outlets. Check social media for details. Shaw Park, Saturday, June 8th.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
She ride the wave, come jump in the range, 100 funny that's much your money mean. Don't need your love, that I cost if you pay. Like King Solomon, a bag a girl to me name. Every girl broke out, Lord, broke out. Me say hot girl, understand your time to step out. Big bumper girl, your time to get scrub out. Hand on your knee, you treat a girl and your and every girl I get wild out tonight. Party in my out tonight. If she suck, me a fine out tonight. And you don't know what a wild out tonight. Out the blue light, yeah, try out the back.
Deltec Distributors Weekend Special. Wings Friday, 3 pounds wings, 2.5 kilogram fries. Special 100 TT. Soup Saturday, 2 pounds cube beef, 2 pounds cow heel, 2 pounds chicken foot, 2 pounds pigtail, or smoke bone. Special $150. Super Sunday, 3 pounds leg and thigh chicken, 3 pounds sliced pork, 3 pounds lamb slice, 3 pounds cheese, 2 pack of pasta. Special $250. Located Main Road, Argyle, Tobago. We deliver 20 TT. Contact us on deltecdistributors.com 395-5040 or 237-0102. Deltec Distributors Weekend Special.
But this place is boring enough. We don't even do nothing. Let me go somewhere now.
I really want some new things, yes? Then look no further. Portmore is the place for you.
Oh, really?
Yes.
You can have anything that your heart desires. Take a look for yourselves. A world of endless opportunities. Feeling hungry? Go get something to eat. Books and stationeries, games, and much more. Portmore, the island's beat.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. I am Adana Kumbi, and we begin conversations this morning in studio. We speak with Inspector Shirley Prince and ASP Dirk John. We're speaking, of course, of our weekly crime update as it relates to things happening in Tobago. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Adana.
Pleasant day.
Good morning to our loyal listeners and viewers. And good morning, your Tobago Updates team.
Right. So we're getting straight into the conversation. I know we're coming out of a period where it was really hot in Tobago. It was really, really hot. And I felt as if we couldn't even keep up with what was happening. Yeah. And so we're here today and we want to get, a recoup of what has happened over the past week and weekend as it relates to crime and criminal activities, apprehending any criminals. Where are we right now today?
Okay, so Adana, so we had quite a few success stories. I want to touch on, if you remember, in March, Sergeant Jonas was on duty in the Mongrace area, and he keen up observation. There's a gentleman surgeon, he got a firearm. He was sentenced to 2 months hard labor. Additionally, there was a report of housebreaking with intent. That person also went before the court and was sentenced to 3 months hard labor. Additionally, in the Roxborough district, a gentleman went to bed, retired to bed, left the keys in his ignition, glass down, and somebody took that vehicle without, and that vehicle was recovered by the Roxborough police station. So he also went before the court, and he has gone to St. Arts for a probation report. So we quite a lot of few activities, a lot of success story, but I'm going to let my ASP, Mr. John, continue for me.
Pleasant day, everyone. It's important to commend the men and women who are still dedicated to this fight, because we know that we can raise our hands and say we surrender. We also know too, to bring back that level of peace that Tobago is accustomed to, that we have to be more on the ground, bringing that feedback, engaging a little more positively with members of the public. So I want to personally commend the team at Roxborough for that interception, and my inspector and I would do something for them to celebrate that.
Right, it's always good to acknowledge good work. Now, the people in Tobago, as you mentioned, we want to bring back the place to some place that is calm, that we feel safe and comfortable. And people have been asking, what is the TTPS doing in terms of not just a presence, but sometimes we talk about strategies, we talk about plans, what we're going to do, and where is the action in terms of the visibility, what is actually happening. So I'm happy to hear that persons were apprehended. Where are we going now? How do we, I know we've had talks, especially over the past week. We've engaged other agencies like the Tobago House of Assembly and, the Defense Force in terms of how do we manage and curb crime on the island. So where are we where that is concerned?
So additionally, yes, we have partnered with the regiment. So you'll see the increased police presence with the regiment. And additionally, you know that the Guard and Emergency Branch and the Interagency Task Force will be here permanently in the next week or so, but they will be also on a rotation. So we have heard the cry of Tobagonians, and we have adopted an increase in our police presence in Tobago.
I know last conversations we had, that was with the chief, that he mentioned the Tobago specific police supposed to be launched or starting from today. Is that active from today?
Where I sit, I don't have that information.
Okay,
no.
We'll follow up on that.
Yes.
Right, so where are we now in terms of, I know you apprehended quite a few. Was there any activity happening over the weekend in terms of any?
Yes, we had the Delaford Harvest, and well attended, and we have no reports coming out of that. So let's say it was a safe event for the Roxborough district.
Okay.
Right, so we are so happy that we had no adverse reports coming out of the Delaford Harvest.
What can you attribute to that? Because I know it's a very, very big event, and harvest is something, if you know, especially in those areas where you have large numbers, because a lot of people attend the harvest in that area.
Nice. So what the police did, what the entire division did, we just did some exercises before and during the entire Sunday. So you see a lot of police presence. We had roadblocks. We had exercises before. So everybody, so to make everybody comfortable. So, so we really had no reports about anything. So the police was out in their numbers to see.
Okay, and in terms of, let's say, communities across the island of Tobago, not just when we have like harvest or events, what can we expect in terms of a police presence? And I make reference to some of those recreational grounds that we have, where we have young persons and other groups using sporting facilities in the afternoon or late evening. And sometimes we can find some little, persons trying to make mischief in those areas. And so is there any conversation or talks to have a heavier police presence in community areas, recreational grounds, walking through the communities, engaging with members of the community groups like churches or anything like that, to ensure there's a presence that is always there, and also to encourage persons to abstain from indulging in criminal activities?
Okay, so Donna, I'm glad you mentioned that, because last week we had 3 community walkabouts in the Scarborough district, Shervan district, and Crown Point. And it was just for us to sensitize the residents and the business owners of proper security of their business in terms of cameras, security of your homes. Even if you can't afford a camera, make sure that your place is properly fortified. And we also listened to their concerns about the police. I mean, what they want from the police, what they expect from us, and how they see we have been working, or if we have not been working, we really listen to them, and then we go back and we try to change things in their perspective to have a positive impact within our community.
All right. And one of the other things I mentioned in a conversation, I believe I get into with the chief, and I should have had it with you as well, in terms of the enforcement of the law. So we've come to a place where we see criminal activities. It's like the criminals, they don't really care. They get up this morning and my job today is to do X, Y, and Z, and I'm going to do it. Yeah. And so they didn't just start like that. And I believe that sometimes they try petty crimes and they get away with it. For instance, something as simple as littering, it is a criminal offense, and there should be a charge attached to it. But is it enforced? I drive along the street and I see drivers throwing things out of their windows. I see people on the side of the road and they drop in their lid, finish eating something, and instead of looking for a bin, you just throw it, you go to, anywhere, and you just see heaps of rubbish just piled all over. And so people are not charged or for these types of crimes, and they're thinking, if I could get away with this, let me try something else. And I'm testing the waters until I become a professional criminal. So now the conversation has to be about enforcing the law, even for the smallest of crimes, before we even escalate to becoming a professional criminal, if I can say that.
If I may, that's a very strong point. You know that the focus is more on violent crimes, homicides, shootings, because that disturbs the population heavily. When you look at minor offenses such as littering, it calls for another resource allocation. And with already scarce resources, we have to focus where we can. And that's part of the precision policing methodology based on the violent crime reduction plan from our Commissioner of Police. So it's understandable where you're coming from. We are a bit stretched at times, but in order to deal with what shocks us more, what disturbs us more, we center and focus our attention on those things. But we will look at that aspect as well.
And I believe maybe you could take my advice from where I sit. Public education.
Yes.
A lot of public education is very important because people take these things for granted.
Yes.
And as you said, the resources are going to be deployed for where the shock is really. But there are things that lead to it. And sometimes we're very reactive in terms of, we're going to deal with this now because this is what is happening. But let's look at the root of it. Yes. So I'm hoping that there will be some measure of heavy public education in terms of the what you call the petty crimes, or so that people can be aware of what is going to happen, what the law. Some people don't even know what the laws are in terms of those petty crimes. So I'm hoping that something can come out from the TTPS.
Yes, absolutely. As you mentioned, littering. Does Tobago have the deployment of litter wardens within the context here? No. So when you look at other entities coming together to treat with a particular situation, we have to bring them and focus on treating where we can. You understand? Because I know the eyes are on the police, but there are other entities that we can bring to the fore that can assist as well.
All right, so we just have to continue having conversations, and engagement with your communities and your other agencies and stakeholders to ensure that, all the loopholes, that we fill all the loopholes, that we leave nothing, to chance, because, you know how we are, the human being. If you could find a way you will do it. So let's just kind of seal off everything and ensure that we have, as some people say, that we have the city on lock, so that we get rid of all the criminal elements on the island of Tobago, because Tobago is beautiful, and we want to continue encouraging visitors from far and wide to come and enjoy all that we have here on the island of Tobago in safety.
Of course. I had my, if I share with you, my first experience attending a harvest in Delaford, and the vibe was really nice. The togetherness, the warmth, the hospitality, it was tremendous to me. And what we can promise the people of Tobago is that we care for what is taking place, and we will drive hard to ensure that this island paradise is not affected at all.
I am really hoping that we can get to that place, where we feel, back in the day, you could leave home. That guy who went to bed with his key in his ignition would have nothing to worry about come 20 years ago,
True.
And so we want to get back to that place. Yes, we have to be careful, but we really want to get back to that place where we feel safe, where we can feel like if I have to run in the shop quick and leave my door open, nobody's going to run in there or try to get anything from me. So we're hoping for a Tobago that is once again very safe. We're speaking, ladies and gentlemen, with Inspector Shirley Prince and ASP Dirk John as it relates to the crime updates happening here in Tobago, the plans and strategies that have been implemented. And we also have to have another aspect of conversation with them as well. And so we are going to have to go for a short break before we continue. And of course, before we go for a break, we invite all of you to help us share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Need a fresh start?
Upgrade your life with the things you want. At Standard Distributors in Canaan, life is good with zero. Get that amazing fridge, the stylish sofa with zero down and easy financing. Your dream house is within reach. Visit Standard Distributors today. Life is good with zero.
The best place to stay in Tobago is at Thorn's Place with rates starting as 200 TT. Call or WhatsApp 745-7306 or 682-8676. We are located uptown Scarborough, 5 minutes away from the port. Remember, at Thorn's Place, our aim is to make your stay safe and affordable.
Rotisserie, mouth-watering fries, salads, combos, and specials galore. Feeling for something to eat? Come and see. Our rotisserie is seasoned to the T. Kicking chicken, masala, and jerk roast. Crispy fries made from scratch. Who do you know can't beat that? Or salads freshly cut and packed. When you taste it, you'll be wanting to come back. So come check us out on number 2 Robinson Street, Uptown Scarborough, Tobago. We open on Saturday nights from 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. and on Friday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us at 772-7443 and all social media handles at The Rotisserie Factory.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up and look, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up and look. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show. Live more.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. I am Adana Kambi, and we continue conversations this morning with Inspector Sheila Prince and ASP Dirk John. And now we shift the conversation a little bit more to focusing on extortion and demanding of money by minister. This is a very heavy topic, and so we're going to get into the conversation because it's a serious conversation. Nobody wants to be extorted out of their hard-earned money, and so we're going to start the conversation this morning as it relates to that.
Okay, so extortion and demanding money by menace is not what we see in the Tobago space. However, we want to educate our business community. Yes, you can advertise your business on social media, but please don't put your face to it, because it's going to use as an attraction for the unscrupulous to target you. Additionally, you have the construction sites, and you have cash being paid out every fortnight. So what we advise is get your employees a banking account.
Yes.
Because if you have that heavy cash, people will get around, and anybody can, come to that construction site and they could have a robbery, taking the cash from you and stuff like that. And we also advise them, if any phone calls coming demanding money, don't keep it, report it one time to the police. All right, so we can put their mechanism in place that where we can help you all. Additionally, if your business owners, they're doing their deposits every, say, Monday to Friday around 3 p.m., you can stagger your hours.
Yes.
Don't make it routine. Somebody could be watching, and be vigilant. Watch your outside, your surroundings. Be vigilant of the persons that you even employ. Let them do a certificate of character. And even if you are not satisfied with that, please come to the station and say, listen, I am hiring John Doe. Is there anything known against him? And checks in addition to our certificate of character. So it's quite a few things that we want to educate the business community on, you know, make your business safe. We know you want to advertise, we know you want business, but you, in this time how crime, the dynamics of crime has changed, we want you to just be a little more vigilant.
I know in your preamble you said, at the very beginning you said when you're advertising your business, try to keep your face off, let it be unknown. But in this Tobago space,
Yes.
it is very difficult. Remember, it's only 60,000 of us reside here, and of the 60,000, all of us aren't adults. So it reduces the amount of people who it's easy to know who owns a business. In fact, you can actually go onto our website and find out who owns a particular business. So that becomes very difficult in terms of keeping your identity separating your identity from your business. And of course, people are trying to get multiple streams of income outside of your 9 to 5. And so people are trying their best to see how best you could really feed your family at the end of the day, because things getting a little bit hard. And so we're talking now about trying to secure your business, secure your money, secure your property, and ensure that persons don't use you as a target to take what is rightfully yours. But it's kind of difficult. It really is kind of difficult, and we're trying to figure out how do we do this.
Well, if I share with you, extortion comes about because of silence, and because of that silence, people capitalize. So someone calls into somebody, threatening them. They want a piece of that person's pie, the business pie. But because of the fear as well, they keep it to themselves and they pay. Now, when we ask persons to report a crime, what we want to understand are the crime patterns and trends. We can also pull from that report the method of operation of that particular perpetrator. Now, we know that technology is opening up a lot of things in relation to how people commit crimes. It's not just the telephone. People can access social media, Facebook, Instagram, to target someone and take what they believe is theirs. So we would encourage persons, if someone call into them or reach out to them in whatever form or fashion, let us know. Let us begin the investigative process towards prosecuting someone. Because once we cause that particular level of activity to be seen and felt, persons will be dissuaded to commit that type of crime.
Can we put this type of crime in the same category as extortion? For instance, I think you mentioned it earlier, you're going to make deposits to the bank. You're leaving your business space, let's say on a Friday afternoon. I'm just using a scenario. You've collected all your cash from your sales, and or you have it in your deposit bag, and you're going to the bank to make your deposit to the bank. Somebody intercepts you, takes your money and runs. Can you consider that as extortion as well?
That's robbery, ma'am.
That's robbery.
That's robbery. Plain and simple robbery. In relation to extortion, persons demand using threats to achieve an end. It may be money, but it could be some other form of benefit. So in relation to robbery, even though it falls under the same legislative coding, the Larceny Act, is a different classification for us. You understand?
Right.
So in relation to protecting business persons from these unscrupulous persons, we need to understand how they carry about their act and how you should act to prevent that from taking place.
And sometimes you mention if somebody calls and they demand whether it's money or your property or whatever, because they think they're entitled to it. And this person now, somebody calls me and they say, listen, I want XYZ, and I keep it, I don't report it.
Yes.
Sometimes it's people, as you said, it's fair. One of the perpetrator, and two, unfortunately, lack of confidence in the in policing, and so people withhold information and they think, I will deal with this on my own.
Yes.
How do you advise persons or restore a measure of confidence in persons who are afraid because of, I'm not sure if I should go to the police because, what will they do about it?
Yes, ma'am, let's understand that the TTPS, and I've met some quality-oriented officers within this island here. We are professionals. We know what needs to be done. When a report comes to us, we have guidelines under our standing orders in order to treat with these reports. We also have layers of accountability in case an officer doesn't know what to do. So you have, based on that strata, layers of security as well as oversight in relation to managing a report that comes. Now, if you're looking at the sensitivity of the information, we also have coding. So if someone comes and we know how sensitive that is in relation to the person's background, business, probably the quantum of money, the sensitivity in it, we will manage it. Because we have experts, we have fraud experts, all right? We have organized crime experts. We have persons with diverse backgrounds who can treat with that level of concern that an individual may have when they want to report a matter.
And additionally, Adana, when you give in to the unscrupulous persons demanding money by minutes and you don't report it, but you pay the money, they will expect that you are going to continue the process. So we don't want you to start it. We want to finish it. All right. So that's what we are trying to say. Don't start the process. Don't give them away money that you work hard for. Don't, even if they come to you, they will say, listen, there's a thriving business and they will watch your family. If you don't give me this, I will hurt your family. And that put the business owner in fear. So you want to reassure them that the police is here to work along with you.
Ma'am, also, these persons who are committing these type of crimes, based on my experiences in Trinidad, they thrive on isolating the victim. I would suggest strongly that the business community be more unified in how they approach certain things. Because within themselves, they can find answers as well. And they can look at protective measures that they can apply in relation to one, CCTV, adequate CCTV, effective CCTV systems, and being more together in their response to when something affects one, it impacts all.
That is a very strong point because there's unity in numbers, of course, and once we have the same goals, we work towards it. As a business community, I'm speaking of they come together with their ideas and ensure that happens. But I want to go back to a point you just made in terms of the perpetrator now threatening your family.
Yes.
And now this puts the individual in a place of real, you really feel scared. There's a big cloud of fear over you now. Now you're threatening my family. Even when you go, even if you report this matter to the TTPS, you're still looking over your shoulder and you're still feeling fearful and you're still afraid to sleep at night because you don't know what is going to happen. And so I would like to know what the conversation is between now the person who has reported this, because let's say it happened to me, for instance, and I reported it, but I still feel that measure of fear. So I've reported it to the TTPS and they said to me, okay, we'll look into it. And then I'm just left there. Well, how do you restore a measure of confidence in that person, as well as ensuring that they remain calm throughout the process and do not give in to the extorter, the person who's trying to extort them?
Okay, nice. So after someone makes a report, they are indeed a victim.
Yeah.
And we also have a unit, the victim support unit. And that unit, their officers are trained and we now transfer that individual to that department. So they now with their counseling reassure these persons, listen, the police are doing our best and, that kind of safety and security. All right. We cannot say for sure that, listen, this would not continue, but we can hold their hand and we can support them. While the police continue their investigation on one side, we also have mechanism to put you into that safe zone.
Well, that's good to know that there's that measure of, as you said, counseling and
Yes.
holding the hand of the victim to ensure that measure of safety. But there will always be that element of fear until they know that this person or this situation. That's right. That's right. Is there anything else that you really want our viewers to go home with from this particular topic in terms of safeguarding themselves and the relationship that they should form with the police, the TTPS, in terms of this particular extortion or any possibility of extortion taking place, whether it's their business or their home or whatever valuables they might have that somebody might be so attracted to that they insist that they must get it from them?
Yes. As I compliment the inspector in relation to her suggestion as it relates to the victim and witness support. By doing a threat assessment, we can look at the risk that a family faces. And with our relationship with NGOs, we can relocate if need be. Also, we can increase patrols within that neighborhood to identify suspicious persons or suspicious vehicles and treat with it. So that person is not alone, you know. What happens is that we need the communication. And as I always speak to my colleagues, effective communication is king, queen, and trump for those who play old fools. So when you look at a situation, one can look at it right here, or you can look at it more broad base. Someone being threatened is a very serious thing because someone can carry out those threats. So we take it seriously.
That's right. That's there. Of course, we're speaking to Inspector Sheila Prince and ASP Dirk John as it relates to extortion and demanding of money by menace. Of course, giving some advice in terms of how to secure your property and your valuables, your family, how to keep yourself safe, and of course, ensuring reporting any such activity happening here. In closing, is there anything else that you'd like to share with our viewers?
Well, today we have a town meeting within the Charlotte Police Station District. Charlottesville Police Station District, 7 p.m. I can get the location for you. We also have a town meeting tomorrow, please go at 7 p.m. Chauvin Road Police Station is having that. I will be attending this evening's town meeting where we're encouraging persons to come out, express themselves, tell us how you feel as to the service being provided. Tell us what you would like in order to improve the service that we provide. Because we all is. We know that we are not perfect, but it's an organization that is growing more positively each day. And once we have that public police trust rebuilt, restored, we can get things done and bring a level of peace to this country.
All right, so we have 2 town hall meetings happening there, one in Charlottesville area this evening at 7 p.m. and then in the Chauvin district also tomorrow, I believe, at the same 7 p.m. time. So come out. For those of you who reside in that community or do business in those communities, you can come out and express your concerns, hear what the TTPS has to say, and of course, let them know where you stand. Make your demands. It's your opportunity to make your demands and let them know what you think can be implemented for your own safety and security and that of your family, that of your business, and those things that concern you as well. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been speaking with Inspector Sheila Prince and ASP Dirk John this morning as they brought us the TTPS update on crime for the entire week and weekend, as well as extortion and demanding of money by menace. We do have to go for a short break before we continue conversations in studio this morning with our guests. And of course, before we go, we have to ask you to help us share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Tobago, we reach the biggest comedy event of 2024, finally in Tobago for one night only at Shaw Park.
My body, and I'm not in the mood.
Yeah, but you haven't been in the mood for the last 6 months. Love is a Walk, which played to sold out houses across Trinidad, is coming to Tobago for one night only on Saturday, June 8th at 8:30 p.m.
You promised this would be the last time.
Yes, I tell you it's the last time, I swear.
You sure about that?
Tickets for Love is a Walk available at the Shaw Park Complex daily and at advertised outlets. Check social media for details. Shaw Park, Saturday, June 8th.
place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. We're just at 7:44 a.m. So if you need to get to work for 8 a.m. and drop the children off to school, you just have about 16 minutes. Remember to drive safely on our nation's roads to get there this morning. All right, this morning we continue conversations. This morning we're speaking with Mr. Rondell Fields, and he's the president of the Fathers Association of Trinidad and Tobago. And we are talking about addressing cyberbullying on social media. Good morning, Mr. Fields, and welcome.
Morning. Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here, Dan, and nice to see you as usual.
Right, it's always a pleasure having you on our program, and we know once you're here to talk business, things that affect you primarily as a man and an advocate for men's rights here in Trinidad and Tobago, even and across the region. So we're starting this morning with cyberbullying on social media, and we'd like to see how that conversation rolls out.
I mean, definitely, cyberbullying is a big problem, and it's because it attacks, I think, all members of society. I mean, it doesn't distinguish or differentiate. Once you're able to use a social media device, you're either susceptible to, can be victim of, or can perpetrate cyberbullying upon others, or be victim, as I said before, of cyberbullying from others. And I think this loops into the whole discussion. I know a number of my directors had a discussion this week on our podcast pertaining to the page, Is This Your Man? There's also one called Is This Your Woman as well. And what we are seeing, the developments we're seeing coming out of this page, both of them, of course, on the one that started off with the one with Is This Your Man? And now we've seen that it's now transferred and even included women in the whole discussion as well. And they're seeing that there's a creation of a page where information is being posted, persons' pictures particularly, their name, their identity is being revealed, and serious allegations are being levied against them. And one of the reasons that we made a call, definitely, was to ensure that, I mean, there was some legitimacy, or even not legitimacy per se, but that there was some level of control brought to what is being broadcasted on this page. Apart from the liability of the admin themselves being brought up or being sued, or so to speak, there's also a real and serious fear. I received a message from one person this morning, and it was so horrendous to see what was posted on this is on the Is This Your Woman page. I got this one this morning, that's why I'm mentioning it. And the page posted the person and claims that they have videos of a sexual nature. They posted what they said the alleged person, who is supposed to be, as we call it colloquially, the horner man, said. And what stood out most to me is what the administrator of the page said. You all asked for evidence, so we're telling the husband to message us, and we will send the sex video to him. You understand? Because we want to give all the proof, because everybody come to ask us for evidence now. And I don't know if they understand that level of danger they're going to be putting people in. Even if they do have a recording of such a nature, you clearly are untrained to deal with scenarios like this. Sending it to a person who may not be aware of something like this taking place in the relationship may actually cause some harm or injury to be levied upon somebody else. The administrator even says in their comment as well when they're posting that they don't care who get licks. So when we are seeing things like this being posted, we must be fearful. And I'm not only saying this pertaining to the women alone. It started off with men being posted. A number of men have made queries and have contacted us saying that this is untrue. I don't know this person. There was allegations that one person's lover was pregnant and actually ended up in the hospital after she read something that was totally untrue. So I'm really concerned. As you may realize, I've taken big breaths in between, and it's because I have been privy to people being harmed and injured, particularly when it comes off or spirals off of infidelity taking place, when it is legitimately so. More so, you can see it happening now if allegations are being made that are false, would make it even worse for somebody to be injured, maimed, or murdered for a false allegation. We've seen them now have to start pulling down persons' faces because they realize it was an angry woman who posed up the man, and it was an angry ex who posed up the man. And the thing is, this is careless and dangerous behavior. The careless part is one thing, but my fear is, and I am appealing to the good sense of this person, you will not feel good if somebody loses their life, or somebody is injured, or somebody is maimed based on the information you put on that Facebook page, whether it be man, whether it be woman, whether it be true, whether it be false.
Rondell, I totally agree with you where this is concerned, but what are the steps can we take in terms of, because I don't know if this is legal to do this, and as you said, some of the information is very inaccurate, because I too have heard persons saying that I know persons personally who have said this is not true, and they've seen their photos on there and they've made a joke of it and thinking, how can I be there when this is not true? So we know that some of the information, of course, does not hold any truth to it at all. And so now we have this space, as you mentioned, it creates some measure of danger to persons who have been in relationships with persons, or who are even innocent persons, and as you mentioned, all sorts of things can happen. What steps can be taken now to, one, have these pages checked into to see the validity of them, or to have them removed, or even to change the type of content being posted on there? Because I'm trying to see what is the relevance of this type of page, and what can be done about it.
Definitely. I mean, for sure, one of the things is litigation. And the thing is, the only problem with litigation, you have to find who's the administrator of the page. And I don't know if they think that's hard to find, but I can guarantee them with the technology available, even to Trinidad and Tobago, through certain national security coalitions, they could find you. So, I mean, if it gets to that position and the person is identified, for sure, litigation. Once the person has broadcasted or rebroadcasted, they seem to fail to realize that part. False information that has defamed somebody, that person will be able to bring them up, I mean, for damages of whatever nature the court finds substantial. One. And two, I also know as well, certain state entities and national security entities are supposed to be able to get in contact with certain places like Facebook and Meta and these places. I know as well, even if it is through some of the collaborations through the Telecommunication Authority and these places, I know that they should have connect and contact to members of Meta and Facebook and these places that could have these pages taken down, because they can cause a risk. And I realized that when we spoke about it, a number of people, I don't know if they were connected to the page, but they seemed intimately connected to the page, started attacking us and started attacking me individually. But I want them to know I don't hate you, but you have to consider what you are doing. And there's only because I am so well experienced with seeing the end result of these things and why I'm cautioning these people of what this could lead to. This could lead to real bloodshed. Just last 2 weeks, a man was sentenced 13 years because he found out about infidelity during his wife's pregnancy. The child wasn't his child, and he lit the woman on fire. Because you need to understand these things, even when we are doing paternity testing for men, for them to identify if the legitimacy of their children, we don't do that without counsel, because we know these things can trigger negative reactions. So we have to be responsible with those things. The average person thinks that they automatically have the natural emotional intelligence to hear those things and weather the storm quite easily. I can tell you, it is not so easily done. So even if this person believes that they were doing something with the greatest and best intentions, possibly they were good, possibly they were cheated on, and they say, I don't want nobody to feel like this, let me go out there and put that there. I am asking you respectfully, based on the experience that I have had and dealt with so many instances where it comes to murder, suicides, and these kind of things, and domestic violence, from whether it goes from the man to the woman or the woman to the man, the page that you may think that will assist may actually destroy lives. And then we have to be very careful, particularly with those people who have evil intention to break up a couple, or a man and a woman now going to get married and another woman may want him. That is a real thing. And I told them before they started taking long pages, I told them that would happen. And they had to start taking posts off because they saw that people were maliciously doing that. And I'm even warning them again about the woman's page as well. There are many women who maliciously destroy other women's careers, they maliciously destroy other women's good name as well, you know. This calls for a greater level of individual responsibility. And I think you don't even need to go to the police if that person would act in the best concern of their nation.
Mr. Fields, I agree with what you are saying this morning, and from what you're saying, it sounds as if we are calling for a change in behavior, and to also take a social responsibility in terms of, you know, managing these pages, for whatever the reason is, as you might have, you know, speculated about. Nobody really knows what the real cause of the pages. We just know what the name is, and we have seen the trend in terms of the content they have been posting. And so now a call is being made for a change in behavior and also to have a social responsibility, because as you mentioned, should somebody take some type of action where this is concerned, in their particular scenario, somebody posts something about them or somebody connected to them and they take some measure of action. Now we have another case on our hand as it relates to somebody's psychological state, their mental state. You mentioned, you made allusions to suicide and all sorts of domestic violence that can happen as a result. So you're saying that you're calling for change in behavior and for people to take a social responsibility where this is concerned.
Correct, definitely. And as I said, some people in the beginning may have interpreted this to be well-intended, not knowing or having the experience of where it could go or what it could lead to, thinking that, hey, we are exposing people for doing their wrongs. Let's do this. We will be helping people. Sometimes that's not it. You've heard me say here many a times as well, Adana, that people sometimes even need help or counsel to not stay together. Sometimes apart, when they're trying to find a way apart from each other. Sometimes you need counsel to do that because it is so easily inflamed. It is so easy to strike a match and set the whole thing on fire. And that is my serious concern with these things being passed along the way. And then so you open up people to innocent, I mean, abuse, social media abuse. Adana, you, me, anybody sitting anywhere, somebody could pick up a picture, post it up, and say something, and it could destroy whatever relationship you may have in your life. Innocently, what are you going to do then? You can't find comedy in that. There's no joy in that. There's no solution-driven base in that.
Absolutely correct. And so, you know, we really are treading on dangerous grounds here. And this morning, the call is being made for the administrators of these pages, you know, to have a social responsibility and review your intent and, of course, your content, as it can have adverse effects on the lives and livelihoods of people. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been speaking with Rundle Fields, the president of the Fathers Association of Trinidad and Tobago, as it relates to cyberbullying, specifically two Facebook pages that have been launched in the recent past. Is this your man? Is this your woman? And we're hoping that the admins of these pages can take a check. You know, just check yourself, check and make sure that your intent is correct and that you line up with your social responsibility as somebody residing in Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you so much, Mr. Fields, for your contribution there this morning, for your thoughts and for your advice as well. We see your passion and we feel you and we understand where you are coming from. Ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen, this is where we end the morning show on Tobago Updates Television, but we don't end our programming here. We head on over to Tobago Notes and then on to GMT. But before we go, we must remind you about the town meeting being held by the Charlottesville Police District, which is taking place this evening at 7 p.m. at the Charlottesville Library Auditorium. So go out there, of course, and ensure that you get your voice heard. Ensure the police are aware of what you are hoping to see in your area. And also tomorrow, town meeting is also for the Sherburne Police District, is being held at the Mount Pleasant Community Center there also at 7 p.m. So go out and let your voice be heard. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we take it on over now to Tobago Notes and then on to GMT.
on Tobago Updates, guys. You know, when you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want had while I ask the questions you want asked. But before we get into this morning's conversation, let's have our news in 90 seconds.
News in 90 seconds is brought to you by Standards, never beaten on quality and prices.
National Parent Teacher Association President Walter Stewart has urged the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service to outline the crime fighting plan strategy for Tobago. Speaking at the National PTA's 64th mid-year convention, he called for immediate measures to combat crime. Addressing Police Commissioner Erla Yearwood Christopher and Tobago Division Head ACP Collis Hazel, Stewart highlighted inadequate security at the Port of Spain port and insufficient checks between Trinidad and Tobago, while stressing the need for comprehensive container searches. He also urged religious organizations to pray for law enforcement and called on the public to report criminal activities, emphasizing that community cooperation is essential in combating crime. Additionally, the Standing Finance Committee of the House of Representatives will consider a 2.33 billion increase in the 2023-2024 budget on June 3rd, as announced by Leader of Government Business Camille Robinson Regis on May 24th. Major supplementations including the Energy Ministry, Works and Transportation, Public Utilities Ministry, Health Ministry, Education Ministry, and a 50 million increase for the Tobago House of Assembly. However, Finance Minister Colm Imbert said Tobago always benefited from the government, and from 2019 to 2023, the central government spent 2.9 billion in Tobago in addition to their regular subventions. And finally, leader of the Patriotic Front, Michaela Pandey, has launched her campaign for 2025 general election, coinciding with a tribute to her late father, Basdio Pandey's 91st birthday and 5th anniversary of her party. She announced that the Patriotic Front intended to contest all 41 seats, with nominations starting today. Founded in 2019 but inactive in 2020 election, the Patriotic Front is now responding to public demand. Pandey emphasized the party's commitment to unity, constructive politics, and the importance of candidates who genuinely represent their constituents. And that was our news in 90 seconds.
Need a fresh start? Upgrade your life with the things you want. At Standard Distributors in Canaan, life is good with zero. Get that amazing fridge, the stylish sofa with zero down and easy financing. Your dream house is within reach. Visit Standard Distributors today. Life is good with zero.
Good morning and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago. Guys, the conversation has been had for the last couple of weeks in regards to how crime has been escalating here on the island of Tobago. We even saw in our news brief that the president of the Parent Teachers Association of Trinidad and Tobago, Walter Stewart, has urged our community to play its role, as well as urging religious organizations to play their part in praying for officers. But as Tobago sees unprecedented number our rise in crime, this morning we're talking a bit about restoring Tobago. And to have this conversation with me this morning, I have Mr. Rex Henry, who is a member of the Pastors and Ministers Association of Trinidad and Tobago. And I also have sitting with me here Mrs. Janet Parks, who is the coordinator of Mobilize Tobago. Good morning.
Good morning.
I mean, we are not the only persons who are seeing the rising or the escalated numbers in crime on the island of Tobago. You guys have been noticing it as well, and now you are making a call to restore Tobago through prayer to combat the crime situation. Talk to us a bit about the initiative, Mr.
Good morning, Tobago, and those on the World Wide Web. Thank you for the opportunity. So, Mobilize Tobago is a movement that was launched in July 2023, basically to mobilize the church without walls, to move across all the denominational divides for exactly a reason like this. And we have decided to continue to work together and to have a day where we have set aside time, not just to pray, but also to have a mass rally where we can present solutions. So on May 31st, Friday, it's a public holiday. We have identified churches across the entire length and breadth of Tobago, and it's not limited to one denomination. So we have Seventh-day Adventists, Methodists, Moravian, Pawi, you name it. Because crime, Anglican, and so on, because crime affects everyone. Crime is not limited to a particular person, neither to a class nor a creed. So at 10 o'clock along those, in those areas, we have identified initially 10 areas, and the interest has spread. So we now have 11 churches throughout the length and breadth of Tobago. At 10 a.m. sharp on May 31st, we will have a church service for 2 hours. And that church service is basically going to be pulling people within those zones to come into one place to pray. We all know what 2 Chronicles 7:14 says, if our people pray, then God is going to heal the land. And our cry is, what has been going wrong? Because we have been praying. But then there's the aspect of unity. We need to be unified in, believing that we can really be healed. So that's part of it. And then at 12 noon, we're all going to travel from those 11 locations, and we're going to converge at the Scarborough Amphitheater, where we're going to have a mass rally. And at that rally, we're going to have various segments, presenters, and so on, dealing with crime, talking about community safety, talking about your personal safety. We're going to be having some survivors who have their parents or relatives who are victims of crime. We're going to have one or two of them talk about the impact of what that has had on their lives. We're also going to have one or two persons who were in crime, but they're now reformed, to talk about their journey. So, that's basically where we're at with this process, where we really can't just sit on the sidelines anymore, see what's happening and not move into action to say, come, everybody, it affects all of us. We want everybody find out. There'll be announcements and so on, so you'll know exactly which church is within your area, with your zone. 10 o'clock, we're asking you to make that sacrifice to go in, and let's unite in prayer for Tobago, and by extension, Trinidad and Tobago.
Excellent, excellent. And what do you guys hope to accomplish from this event? I should ask, Mr. Rex.
The expectation of the Pastors Association is that this is really a beginning of events. We had a meeting a couple of Mondays ago. The person in charge, the chairperson of the Pastors Association is Bishop Sheldon Holder. And several of the members, they outline a number of strategies. Some of them are going to be local, some of them are going to be community-based. So part of the prayer is something that not only has to start, but it has to continue. So it's something that the Pastors Association is what do we call that word? Partnering with Mobilization Tobago. And this partnership from prayer is meant to get us all involved in the process of, because first you need to, a few weeks ago we were talking about attracting the presence of God into Tobago. And they were talking about how do you attract God's presence. And one of those things is by repentance, that we can identify what are the areas in which we as a community have messed up. We've been rebellious and stubborn against God. We've known what was the right thing to do and we didn't do it. A lot of our funding may not have gone where it would have done the best community good. And we've invested in things that turn around to bite us. There was a time I think Tobago wanted to be the party capital of the country. And the party capital meant that a lot of the people who came to Tobago, liked Tobago, stayed here to party, because you can move from party to party to party, because that was the mentality as part of our tourism product. Repentance literally means shifting direction, changing the direction you're going in. And that's your first thing. So it has to have an internal, emotional element to the process. And then secondly, you need to have a plan. So the Pastors Association is talking about partnering up in the community with a crime plan where we are engaging our community in terms of reporting guns. I think the head of the organization is very, very passionate about getting the guns off the streets and partnering with the institutions and stuff. So the hope is that at the end of this process, we would have a mechanism by which we're not only going out there and engaging people. One of the other people on the Pastors Association that I think want to be noteworthy is that in a couple of weeks, they'll have a discussion about mentoring men and going to the boys on the street, talking to them, confronting some of the challenges they have, and attempting to reintegrate them into the community.
Okay, and what about you, Ms. Parks? Tell us, what do you really hope to achieve, and what type of public engagement are you expecting?
Okay, so we have engaged the village councils, we have engaged the churches and mass, we have engaged the business community. I've sent out information for the schools, social services. We have basically done our part in terms of creating the awareness and the interest. And the message is very simple. Crime affects every single one of us. We have heard of the robberies, the murders, and what have you. And it's not a situation where you can sit and believe that you are immune to it. You could be walking down the street and you're gunned down because the gunshot that was meant for somebody else was directed at you. But in terms of expectation, as Rex said, this is the beginning and there's really no ending, because as we start to impact lives, there are going to be things that we have to do as a church, as a community, to continue that transformation process. So Rex spoke about reaching out to the men. The next guest who will join me will be talking about our counseling initiative, because in that rally on Friday, we're going to be having booths set up for people to actually go in, the Life at the Crossroads program, to say to these youths, there are alternatives to crime. You know, we have invited the police youth clubs and so on. So we have a booth specific to counseling, because what has transpired since COVID is that there have been so much pain, so much grief. You know, the social services system is overwhelmed, and we're saying as a church, we need to also, actually we should have been leading that process where we minister to the whole man, not just to the spiritual man. So on Friday, we're going to have a booth, a counseling booth for people who are having difficulty processing what they have been going through in terms of having a lost one, whether it's since COVID or before, whether they lost their mother by violent crimes and so on. We're saying visit that booth, talk to a counselor, get an appointment, because of course we won't be able to see everybody at that point in time. But the idea is to start that conversation, to start to really minister to the whole man. You know, as a church, we tend to just focus on the spiritual. But the mandate is for us to minister to the entire man. So in terms of my expectation, it's going to be the beginning of a continuous process, you know, where we can reach people to be once more whole, W-H-O-L-E, to become whole again. I'm also a business person, and I'm seeing in the workplace where people are no longer able to cope because of depression. Some people have suicidal thoughts and so on. What's triggering that? Where is that coming from? And then there's another element of it where we have to engage the powers that be to make sure that there's productive employment, to get these people who are involved in crime back out of crime, because I'm in the construction sector, and if you don't have productive employment for these gentlemen to do, some of them are going to slip through the cracks. So it's a holistic approach where we want to engage everyone to come on board to see how we can truly restore Tobago back to a place of peace and back to a place of safety.
Excellent, thank you. And guys, we're going to take a brief break and we'll be back right after this.
Tobago, we reach the biggest comedy event of 2024, finally in Tobago for one night only at Shaw Park.
My body, and I'm not in the mood.
Yeah, but you haven't been in the mood for the last 6 months. Love is a Walk, which played to sold-out houses across Trinidad, is coming to Tobago for one night only on Saturday, June 8th at 8:30 p.m.
You promised this would be the last time.
Yes, I tell you, it's the last time, I swear.
You sure about that?
Tickets for Love is a Walk available at the Shaw Park Complex daily and at advertised outlets. Check social media for details. Shaw Park, Saturday, June 8th.
Breakfast Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch, breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, buljoil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meats served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
Yeah. Hey. Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago. Guys, we are continuing our conversation on restoring Tobago with the event Restore Tobago that would be happening this Friday, the 31st of May. We're talking about prayer. We're talking about coming against crime and violence on the island of Tobago. So, Ms. Parks, so tell us what the program exactly on Friday. You said that you first are going to be gathering at the different churches within the different districts. Then you are going to have a motorcade that leads up to the Scarborough Amphitheater. And for you guys who don't know where that is right behind the Scarborough Library. And so when they get there, there are going to be booths, different things that they can get into regarding mental health and other things. Tell us a bit about what the actual program when they get there is going to look like.
Okay, so at the mass rally, we're going to have several presentations. The police service, we have asked them to talk about personal security and protection. They have agreed to do so. We're having a representative from the Division of Community Development talking about community safety, because they have a program that they intend to launch in the very short term. We have a businessman talking about the changing environment of conducting business in Tobago. You know, it's not like 10, not even maybe 4 years ago, it has changed. And then we have invited, as I was saying earlier, some victims, people who have, you know, suffered as a result of experiencing crime, not themselves, maybe their parents and that kind of thing, to share their experiences. And then we're going to have representatives from the Men of Purpose, which is a group of reformed offenders who have changed their lives around, and they're going to share with us their journey, which we are hoping will be encouragement to those persons who are so inclined to go, you know, that way. After that, we're going to have a panel discussion where the persons in attendance will be able to field questions and also to offer solutions. You know, so we really want people to come out and be engaged, because the village councils, we have sent out letters to them, and quite a lot of them are quite excited about it, and so on. Because people also need a forum to express what they have been feeling. You know, there's not been many avenues for people to speak out. Yes, we've been having marches, and we encourage in marches and so on, but then what next? You know, so coming out of that, we will be giving feedback to the security forces in terms of, this is what people are saying. This is what they are feeling. This is what they are experiencing. There's a lot of fear in Tobago. A lot of fear. People no longer want to venture outdoors after certain hours. And I mean, life is about having, you know, relationships outside your home. You may want to go in the sports field. You want to go to church, whatever, the supermarket. There should be no fear, apprehension to be looking left, right, behind you to see whether someone is following you and that kind of thing. So we really want to have that conversation where people can freely say, listen, I'm recommending X, I'm recommending Y, and it's not going to end there. We're going to collate that information and we're going to send it on to the security services. We're going to do our part. We're going to do our part, and we need everyone to come out and have your say.
Excellent. And during the break, we have been joined by Clecia Rivaldo. Hector, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome, who is also a guidance counselor. So, as you touched on a bit, there is the grief that is left with the family after crime. Tell us a bit about some of the work that you have been doing in this area, and how can persons be more engaged and encouraged to actually seek out counseling?
Well, like you just said, morning, right? I am a guidance counselor. So a primary school guidance counselor. So I deal with children between the ages of 5 to 12, 13. And we are seeing where the children are also exhibiting symptoms of the crime that may be happening. They are identified patients, right? So they are exhibiting the symptoms of what is happening in our community, right? So as a guidance counselor, I do my part when I have one-on-one counseling sessions where I'm able to offer psychoeducation and practical tips to help them. But the reality is the children is one part, right? We also have to include the parents, because children obviously are heavily influenced by their parents, by the home unit, right? And they are influenced by the things they see and what they experience at home. So we need parents and we need the adults to become a bit more self-aware and recognize when something may not be right in your home, when something may not be right with you, and have enough self-awareness to say, hey, I'm experiencing a challenge within myself. I'm experiencing a challenge with my emotions, with, a challenging experience that I may be going through, and I need to seek help. So we basically are just trying to push this initiative so that people can feel open, they can feel comfortable to seek support necessary for a change.
Excellent. And so you would have a booth there, or would you be speaking at the event?
Well, I will be at the counseling booth, right? This morning I'm representing my lovely pastor, Pastor Roselle Andrews from the Upper Room Worship Assembly, and we were given the task, or the responsibility rather, of managing the counseling booth, as we recognize that there are many individuals that probably was affected, that may have been affected by crime, whether directly or indirectly. So offering psychological and emotional support is imperative in this instant, right? Because when an individual experiences a traumatic event, usually there are negative symptoms that emerge from that experience, like fear and helplessness, or even sometimes when that is not dealt with from inception, it can spiral or develop into something bigger, like depression or anxiety disorders or trauma or stress-related disorders, right? So our goal there with our counseling booth would be to merge the spiritual counseling with practical counseling. So the spiritual counseling would be us leaning into our faith and our belief in Jesus Christ to impart hope and a sense of solace to the individuals. Meanwhile, doing that simultaneously with practical counseling skills, where we'll be able to assist the individual to navigate any cognitive distortions they might have surrounding a traumatic experience with crime, or practical skills such as grounding techniques that are usually used for when you have anxiety, or even if it's to direct them into the right areas within the Tobago House of Assembly that offers or has referral resources that may be able to better assist them. So that is what we are going to be doing there at our counseling booth, merging spiritual and the practical to give a holistic intervention to the individual.
Excellent, excellent. And I guess, guys, that's something that you would definitely want to come out and benefit from. But before we wrap up this morning, Mrs. Parks, tell us why it's important for Tobago to come out and be a part of this event.
Oh, thanks for that opportunity. It's a clarion call. Crime affects every single one of us. And I want to appeal to the clergy in particular to encourage your congregations to come out, not just to pray, but also to journey to Scarborough afterwards, so that we collectively can offer solutions. Let's see how we can start to break it down one step at a time. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's going to be a process, but we certainly want to encourage everyone, all the school children. We want to encourage you to come out as well, because we all know there is crime in schools. It's terrible, actually, in a lot of the schools. So everyone, the business owners, the village councils, the police youth clubs, everyone, every person who could walk, who could get to a church, we want to see you. Because we need, if there's nothing else we can unite on, I think we can unite on trying to really restore Tobago and to resolve crime. Let's get the peace and the safety back in our homes, in our businesses, in our schools.
Excellent, guys. Thank you so much for being here this morning, and we hope that you do have a successful event on Friday. I'll see you guys. We are going to have a quick break, and I'll see you soon right after this.
How it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO, and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
She ride the wave, come jump in the range, 100 money that much your money mean. Don't need your love, the cacas if you pay. Like King Solomon, a bag a girl to me name. Every girl broke out, Lord, broke out. Me say hot girl, understand your time to step out. Big bumper girl, your time to get scrub out. Hand on your knee, you treat a girl and your body. And every girl I get wild out tonight. Party in my out tonight. If she suck me, I find out tonight. I don't know what a wild out tonight. Out the blue light, I try out the back.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Guys, as we continue our conversations this morning, we're talking about authorship and writing here on the island of Tobago. And this morning, we're having that conversation with Mr. Ken Gordon. Good morning, Mr. Gordon, and how are you this morning?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you this morning, and thank you for bringing that great energy into the studio. So you have been writing for a while. Tell us a bit about when you started writing and about some of the publications that you have written.
Okay, I started writing 2 years ago, and it's just about feelings, emotions that I've had since I was a kid, and decided to put them out on paper. And
Excellent. So you just 2 years ago, I'm thinking that's during the pandemic, you just had the idea that you wanted you wanted to start writing, and the inspiration for that had a lot to do with the life that you lived. Tell us about the actual publications that you have had since.
Okay, the first is about physical abuse of my parents. I was left with my father at 18 months, and he did all his problems and you know, all his taking all the revenge from my mother leaving him or leaving me with him on me.
Okay.
And at one time I ran away from home. He found me, carried me back home, and he beat me. So I decided the next time I'm gonna run away, I'm not staying in Tobago. So I did run away at 14, started living in Trinidad, Barataria, 9th Street, and I begged on the street for 9 months barefoot, one shirt, one pants.
Okay, and how did you get out of that situation?
Well, my mom lived in Trinidad.
Okay.
So my aunt, who knew I was in Trinidad, got a message to her, and she came to Barataria and got me.
And all of that is in the book?
All of that's
in the book.
Is in
That's an interesting
The
story.
Shadow.
And the name of that book is called
The Shadow of Fear and Hunger.
And you got an award for that. Tell us a bit about that award.
Yes, this camera. This I took the book to the National Library, and they had a award ceremony. They had 55 of us, right? 5 new ones from Tobago, new authors from Tobago, and I received this award.
Excellent. And are you self-published? Who is your publisher, actually?
Oh, a lady from Plymouth Road. She's Miss Util Duncan.
Excellent. And how are you also encouraging other Tobagonians to start writing? And what is the path to become a published author?
It's simple. I mean, everybody has a story. And I encourage, in all my books, I encourage readers to at least tell their story. Like in this book, I said, Aljo, every Saturday morning you hear him say, by Calypso's our stories are told. And I told him, Aljo, that isn't true. You have books to read, people's stories, and everybody have a different story, right? And so far, I've been having good representations with this one because of my lifestyle, and people who know me, who knew me then and know me now, they see the difference. Right, so it's very inspirational also.
Excellent. And with this latest publication, and it's called The Pillar of My Town, it's important because one of the issues that we have here in Tobago is that there's a lack of recording of Tobago's history.
Very much
and
so.
You have used your publication to do that. Tell us a bit about what this book is really about and how it contributes to recording Tobago's history.
Okay, the pillars, I use the pillars as the people I knew who helped to build Canaan Bonacourt to what it is now, right? I have guys in this like John Grant. He started off as a taxi driver, and he ended up owning reef boats, ended up owning a restaurant, a nightclub, Golden Star, and he just moved upward from there. And other people around that area, we have Harris Devines. He did blocks, culverts, cylinders, and so on, employed people in Canaan. You know, he had a guy named John Lacroix, he used to drive the truck. And I just sat down, remembered all these names and these people and their contributions to what we have today. We have First Citizens Bank, we have Republic Bank, we have Scotia have a ATM. We have all these things in Canaan that weren't there before. Penny Savers, the Coliseum, the Stumpy's Emporium. We have these places that people could shop without coming to Scarborough.
Excellent. And have you done any interviews with their families or anything like that?
No, not really. Most of them are dead.
Right.
Most of them.
But to get an accurate depiction of their life, what type of research would you have
okay,
done on
I use my own experiences, right? For instance, when I played football, Issa George is one of the guys I remembered who used to help us fix our shoes, sew up our balls and this sort of thing. So I just, by bringing back how the first gas station was built by a native Canaanite, Alan Horsford. We used to go there to pump our footballs because those days were inner tubes and so on. So I just remembered all the instances and experiences and I put them in book.
Excellent. And any of your books available at the Scarborough Library, or are you in the process of getting it there?
The Shadow and the one you have there.
Right.
Men Have Feelings too. Those two are at the library right now, and they took the first copy of this to review before they take the others.
Excellent.
And the National Library also have 2 copies of this at the Heritage, and that 2 copies of that one, but not this one is here. This is me.
Excellent. And why do you think it's important for persons to go out and support this new publication of The Pillars of My Town?
Okay, The Pillars brings back memories, a lot of memories. I even recorded some of the guys who represented Trinidad and Tobago in sports. Rebecca Roberts, Linton Williams, Desmond Melville. These are guys from Canaan Bonacord who represented Trinidad and Tobago out there. And without my compilation or without my putting it in my book, they would be dead in the next few years. Nobody would know. The people coming behind would not know who these people were. So I have them there. Then we have Somerset Football Club, Starlight. We had Frank Worrell. Frank Worrell came here with a team and played our team from Canaan with representatives from Canaan who bowled Frank Worrell, and it's in my book. It's in my story. It's really something that the youths coming up could aspire to. All right, you bowling a cricketer the caliber of Sir Frank Worrell, that is something that we could take credit for.
Excellent. And what is your vision for these publications, or this one particularly, The Pillar of My Town? Do you see it possibly getting into schools and maybe even students around the Canaan Bonacord
I would
area
love for it to, I would love for it to be incorporated in the school curriculum, really, because then a lot of these things I would have died without these memories.
Excellent. And even as the Tobago House of Assembly and the Division of Education works towards a Tobago-centric
that is, I went to the Education Secretary to see the Secretary, and it's the most roundabout I ever got. They sent me upstairs, downstairs, across the road at Pump Mill. It was a joke.
At Pump Mill or Dutchford?
Well, Dutchford, sorry, yes.
Okay.
It was a big joke. I say, look, this is nonsense.
Okay, but this is something that you usually work together with the library to accomplish.
Yes, I would love to have some representative from the library after reading the book, seeing what they're about, if they could maybe pursue that avenue.
Yes, and usually the library would probably recommend it to the curriculum unit.
Eventually.
Or if you talk to someone from that unit and maybe possibly get them interested.
Our experiences are so important.
Yeah, excellent.
Right? And without us or somebody from the past, I'm 76 years old. Without somebody from my generation coming out with something like this, I don't think a lot of stuff would be dead.
Yeah.
To the
and
youth.
if you look at the type of books that the curriculum includes, a lot of it doesn't include Tobago specific
foreign authors.
History or heroes.
Yes.
So it is interesting, and maybe you can reach out to the curriculum unit at the Division of Education
I'll try again.
directly instead of trying to speak to a politician about it. It seems more like a curriculum issue. So speaking to the right people about getting the book there may be interesting for the next generation.
Yeah, I'll try again.
And you should.
I'll try again. Yeah.
But talk to us about even the families of these persons. How is it going to impact them seeing the names of maybe their grandfather, their great-great-grandfather written here, and even some persons seeing names of their friends or just people who they remember in the community? Why was that important to put together a compilation for you?
Well, okay, like I said, some of these experiences I have had would die with me, and before that happens, I took the initiative to I made it possible with some of the families that I know that I'm going to be using. I spoke to them pertaining to the inclusion of their relative in this book. And I've been getting good response since it came. I've been getting good response since the book came out.
Right. And even with the crime situation that we're seeing escalating on the island of Tobago here, and you had your own personal experience of abuse, do you think that there's a connection between that abuse that happens in the household and how young men come out and react and respond and get involved in criminal activities?
Basically, the way I was brought up is completely different to today. My father, yes, he was, serious, he was strict, but the energy that he would put into his family, or the energy that parents would put into their families during my time of growing up, it's not there now. Most of the families are single parents and nobody in charge really of the kids. So it's expected that sooner or later, this what we have now would happen, right? But the thing is, I think that the police officers or the arm of the police in Tobago, they have to adopt a different type of regimenting the communities, the villages, be closer to the people to get information so that things wouldn't spread, and then we might have a breakthrough.
Excellent. And what type of recommendations have you made in your small corner in regards to combating crime in your district or in your area?
Well, we Canaan Bonaccord is sort of not considered to be a trouble area so far. So I could sleep comfortable at night in Canaan Bonaccord. But for the other communities, I don't know if drugs is possible, is important, is what is causing most of it or what. But basically, if you look at it right now, I think that is the reason for all the crime in Tobago right now.
Right. I mean, you have a book called Men Have Feelings Too. What type of recommendations do you have to young men in regards to how they choose their lifestyle and how they deal with their emotions as opposed to getting involved in drugs and crime and violence?
That's a really, really good question. Basically, women today question if men have feelings because of situations or things that happen in their lives. Okay, and I am thinking that we have very few people, men have very few people to go to when they encounter problems in their relationships or in their lives. And this is what a guy would go through stuff that if he spoke to somebody about it, he might be able to get a little relief or he might be able to get something to work with. But like a guy recently, I think it was Dwight York's brother, he couldn't take what was happening in his life and he drank poison. Now, if he had spoken to somebody, give him somebody mature, to give him a little heads up on what he was going through, that wouldn't happen. So I guess it's the avenues to which men could go for help is not available.
Excellent. And guys, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back right after this.
Rotisserie, mouth-watering fries, salads, combos, and specials galore. Feeling for something to eat? Come and see. Our rotisserie is seasoned to the T. Kicking chicken, masala, and jerk roast. Crispy fries made from scratch. Who do you know can beat that? Or salads freshly cut and packed. When you taste it, you'll be wanting to come back. So come check us out on number 2 Robinson Street, Uptown Scarborough, Tobago. We open on Saturday nights from 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. and on Friday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us at 772-7443 and all social media handles at The Rotisserie Factory.
The best place to stay in Tobago is at Thorn's Place with rates starting as low as 200 TT. Call or WhatsApp 745-7306 or 682-8676. We are located uptown Scarborough, 5 minutes away from the port. Remember, at Thorn's Place, our aim is to make your stay safe and affordable.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago. Guys, thank you for joining us this morning. We've been having some interesting conversations. This morning we started off our conversations with Restore Tobago, and as we wind up here this morning, we're still talking to Mr. Ken Gordon in regards to a number of the publications that he would have made as an author here in Tobago. And as we wrap up, tell us why it's important for young persons to read as well as get involved in writing.
It's reading is fundamental. Everyone should at least do a little reading. I didn't finish my education at Bishop's. I went to Bishop's and my headmaster was a fool. When I walked from Canaan to Montgomery, 7.25 miles, he beat me. This is what stopped me from going to school. I never did exams. But reading helped because I love to travel. And when I sit down in the airport, have all those hours you have to wait on a flight, I always have a book with me because I've been to England, Canada, France, all these places, right? I lived in the US. So the thing is, reading helps to cultivate the mind. There's no substitute for reading.
No problem. Thank you so much. And again, in regards to encouraging Tobagonians to write their story and to publish their story, please encourage Tobagonians to do so.
Yes, everybody has a story. And telling a story, it takes nothing from you. You're giving your experience to the community, the world for that matter. Because, like I said, everybody has a story. And if you make some time, put it on paper, you yourself will, when you read it over, you get a certain amount of pride to know that you could help somebody going down a certain path with what they read from what you contribute.
Excellent. And again, thank you so much for being here this morning, Mr. Gordon. Thank you for writing and sharing your story, and we wish you all the success with your new publication, The Pillars of My Tongue. Again, thank you for coming. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
No problem, no problem. Guys, here at Tobago Updates, we are offering you the opportunity to broadcast and showcase your business. Do you have a business, whether it be small or medium-sized business, you can advertise with us here on the morning show. Let us know, reach out to us, contact us at 284-6597, and come on to Tobago Updates, whether it be via interviews or just having your advertisement placed on our social media and all of our platforms. You see the contact information there on the screen. You can reach out to us for our booking inquiries. Guys, make sure and come on. Let us know what you are doing. Tobago is interested in hearing from you. Again, we want to thank you so much for staying with us this morning, guys. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your likes, your shares, and your comments. Again, I am Chanel Felix, and it's always a pleasure to sit here with you guys. Have a great day.